Hey, what's going on, y'all? Bobby Davis here, doing a live journaling session with Mind. Full transparency, I am part of the Mind team building this product. So we use it, we make videos, and it helps kind of pull some things to the surface. I have actually been recently going through a move, so this is my first one in I think a little bit over a week, maybe even 10 days or so. But doesn't stop. Journal here. Um, the journal entry is actually about the move itself. There's been so many there's been so many different emotions, so many kind of ups and downs. There's been stress associated with it. There's been learning associated with it. There's been happy times, scary times. So it's sort of like a big bag of different emotions. And so I'm excited to start journaling about that because I can feel the thoughts sort of like welling up in my mind, the different experiences, and I want to start getting them down. And so, of course, I love using Mind to help sort of open up those layers of the onion to see what else lives in there. So let's take this journal entry and plug it in and see what we get. Um, just to give a little brief about the journal entry, I think at a super high level, it's really about the fact that this move has sort of something I was sort of inspired to do. Right, there were a bunch of different factors, and so I'm weighing that. Were those factors even relevant? Are those the right factors that somebody should consider when making a decision in their life? That somebody being me. These are questions I'm asking myself. Am I making a mistake? Am I doing what I need to do for success? So a lot of these things that are sitting at the top of my mind right now. So let's go through and let's see what mine has to say, and we'll talk about relevance, and then we'll get down to, of course, to the money, to the questions. Summary. The writer is reflecting on their tendency to make decisions based on how they think it will advance their image and how others will perceive them, for sure. They realize that they define themselves and their worth based on old metrics of success, which leads to fear of disappointing themselves and their family if they're not traditionally successful or wealthy. Despite this fear, they also feel confident and bold when they trust their own instincts, highlighting the paradox in their emotions. That's true. Let's go down to the emotions: uncertainty, fear, insecurity, confidence, paradox, keywords, decision, advance, smart, competitive, powerless. I really like these keywords. I actually think that shows more the success, or not the success. I'm sorry, the paradox. Let's go back up to the summary really quick. Um, Even when I think about this in my mind, the symbols that live at the top of my mind are kind of decision making. Is this right? What could I do to make it better? Am I still being competitive? And what I love is, I just retyped this from my journal, so I just read, everything that I typed in and then put it at above. But so quickly, it even slipped my mind that, like, hey, don't forget that this is all kind of tied to this idea that I have of what it means to be successful, right? And so for me, there's a deep fear of, hey, if I move out here, right, if I move to this different location, if I make this decision, which isn't tied to, it's not tied to a job, it's not some huge business opportunity out here, it's more because I was inspired to go. Is that going to pervert any ideas that I had about my ability to be successful? Right? Is that going to cut off any chance that I had to be some, I don't even know what. As I'm saying it out loud, I don't know what my expectation is. Let's just imagine some hot shot. Is that going to mess that up? And if it does, it seems like, it really seems like my ego is really fighting that. My ego wants to really hold on to that because that's how I've defined not only what I look up to, but that's how I sort of define myself. Sort of creates a dissonance within me. And yeah, so it's nice to be able to look at that. Let's pop down here to see what they say. Question one: how do you think societal expectations and definitions of success have influenced your own self worth? Banger question. What are some alternative ways to define success that resonate with you personally? And how can you find balance between considering the opinions of others and trusting your own instincts when making decisions? Again, guys, you know what we do here. You know what we do here. Boom. Let's take those. Man, I think I want to focus on number two because I think this is a relevant challenge that I could give even to myself. the more that I the older I get, I'll say it like that, the more that I see trails and I see breadcrumbs of these ideas of success and how those have influenced me throughout the past. And it's ironic because in one sense I'm insecure about the fact that I'm making a move based on something I'm inspired by. Um, but if anything, that's something super close to me. That's almost totally authentic. Whereas feeling bad because it's not aligning with traditional success, let's call it like that, um, is not something that I created. That's something that I adopted from let's whatever society told me or what a movie said I should be or what maybe I thought that the people that I wanted in my life would find attractive. And so those weren't things that I actually owned. And as I'm saying this out loud, I think there's a deep fear within myself. And I don't know who else resonates with this. It's not really about anybody else. I'm just speaking about me. There's a deep fear to let go of these pre-built ideas of success, of self-realization, what it means to exist in society. There's a big fear to let that go because then I'm swimming by myself, right? I have to define those things for myself. And I think whenever we do that, there's a big risk of being wrong or getting lost or being disoriented, right? It can be a lot easier to say, hey, this path is sort of carved out. If I stick with this stuff, it's a good chance that I'll do what people say is gonna effectively make me happy. And I think personally, I've always sort of went against that, but I'm feeling the I'm feeling that pull right now of going against it. I'm feeling that in real time of the ramifications of when one goes against that or when I go against that. Again, just speaking for myself. So, what are some alternative ways to define success? I think one way, and actually I'm going to write this as I'm talking. I think one way is setting setting personal goals as they relate to my current position and standing. Right, like as I'm getting away from these things that I've defined as not built by myself, right? Things that I've absorbed from somewhere else. Well, if I'm going to get away from those, well, how can I build my own, right? And how can I say, hey, this is what success looks like to me genuinely. And so I think setting some personal goals. That's a really actually sorry, I'm saying this out loud and I'm realizing it as I'm saying it, and it's sort of cliche, right? God, set personal goals, but I never really thought about it that way as it relates to these deep seated topics. I never thought that that could be a potential solution for me. So we'll try that out. So setting goals as they relate to my current position and standing, meaning where I'm at in life, not necessarily related to my career. Right? These could be personal goals of I'm in a new country, so maybe I want to learn the language, maybe making new friends, maybe doing things that I hadn't done before. So I think that's nice. Um, I think another way is allowing success to be um, allowing success to be a measure of self understanding and self learning. Um, I think there's a lot of reward. There's a lot of reward within that. There's of course external riches, but then there's also I think a form of internal riches, which is having peace with oneself, having peace with one's mind. When I'm able to see the patterns in my own mind, and it allows me to sort of break out of cycles in a way and not be sort of governed by just these monotonous thought loops. So I think that is a huge part of success, right? Getting, I don't want to call it higher, but just creating a wider range of awareness within myself. So I think that's nice. Um, what else? Let me get one more out of here. What are some alternative ways to define success with you personally? I want to say again, at the risk of sounding cliche, like really auditing, did I do what I wanted to do? Like, did I, um, as selfish as it is, maybe as like maybe it's not anything, maybe it's not anything over the top as far as goal setting, but um, did I basically set an intention and follow through with it? And I think that is success. Maybe that kind of relates to the first one, personal goals. But I think it's more about the. I think it's more about the. I think it's more about the wherewithal. I think it's more about the going through with the goal. Right? Do I maintain that? Do I maintain that sort of spark and spirit within myself? So I like that. Oops, not painting. Yeah, that's what I'll call it. Perseverance. Don't make fun of my spelling. Um, I think that's awesome. Thanks for sitting with me through that. This was a super enlightening session, actually, right here, and I think it gave me some really nice insight about how I think about success, what success can be to me, and also really realizing like, man, success and what it means to be traditionally successful or wealth or any of these things is like, for me, that's a huge piece of bedrock that sits at the bottom of my psyche that I'm coming to understand more and more as I come into points of resistance with my mind, and as I come into different understandings. So that was good. Um, Thank y'all again for taking the time to tap in. This demo is available for everybody. I sort of say these at the end of my videos. The links and everything are in the bio. If you guys use the demo and have any feedback or anything, we have a feedback button. If something goes wrong, definitely report a bug. We want to fix those as soon as they come in, if they come in, which we hope they don't. So leave us feedback, communicate if there's features you want to see, if there's ideas you guys have. We always love those. So thanks for taking the time, everybody. Really enjoyed this, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.